Hi, welcome. My name is Angelina, and today we're going to be discussing my award show predictions, particularly the category of Rookie of the Year. So join me as we take a trip down memory lane looking at our biggest contenders. I'm also going to graciously offer up an award to one of these groups titled, wait for it, Trash Debut of 2022. Scandalous, but it rhymes. So if you're interested, then please keep on watching. Also stick around if you want best and worst performances of 2022. I already am planning a mega review of the best and worst songs, so don't worry. Before we get started, don't forget to like, comment, and share this video with friends you don't have. And leave your nominations below for best and worst performances while we're at it. Okay, so first I'm going to go through the nominations and who I think are the biggest contenders, which happen to be girl groups. I'm sorry, but girl groups literally dominated this year. I think I saw mention of one or two boy groups, that being TNX and Tempest. And though Pika slapped, I just don't think these boy groups stand a chance against the multitude of girl groups that have literally been dominating. I already said dominating. Slaying. But anyways, we're going to highlight what each of these groups have done, and then at the end we're going to rank them. So starting off with IVE. IVE debuted at the end of 2021 with 11, though we're still going to include them because, you know, they're still rookies, right? Technically. So after their debut with 11, we then see them come out with two other title tracks, Love Dive and After Like, which has seemingly gone viral. So I actually didn't know this, but IVE stands for I Have. No shit, Angelina. You never know with K-pop groups, so don't judge me too hard. It stands for I Have, which alludes to them showing us what they have. Pretty simple, easy to digest. And of course, with two already very established members, there was a lot of hype for this new Starship group because they would effectively be sisters. I'm sorry, that was so bad. Cut that out. I'll see myself out. I came up with that on the spot, by the way. don't, it's fine. And I literally just made the connection. Starship. It's dumb hours with Angelina, leave me alone. Anyways, 11 was a really nice song. You know, I didn't personally love it, but I definitely saw the potential. I definitely saw a lot of people appreciating the song quite a bit. Contrarily, their first comeback with Love Dive really went under the radar for me personally. Like, it didn't have that viral factor like their second comeback would have After Like. I don't even remember what Love Dive sounds like, but there's no escaping After Like. You know, everyone already knows the instrumental because they sampled I Will Survive. And I've personally heard this song everywhere on Instagram Reels, TikToks, the whole shebang. And honestly, I'm not that mad about it. I really enjoy the retro feels of it, and it has become quite addictive. So IVE are definitely huge contenders in this category, and I really think having two very established members in this group have only helped catapult them to where they are right now. And I say that lovingly. There's nothing wrong with acknowledging certain privileges that groups have. So they might not necessarily have company privilege, you know, who the fuck is Starship? who did come from Starship? I just feel like all the second gen old hags know who Starship is, but I don't know about you fourth gen stem, so let me know. But seriously, I don't think I would have been as interested in this group had there not been Wonyoung and Yujin in them. I was more of a casual stan for IZ*ONE, but I'm sure if you loved and supported the group, you would have been so hyped for this. Speaking of the absence of IZ*ONE, we have our second contenders, which are Kep1er. They just came in to fill the void that we had of wanting another temporary group. I don't fucking know. Not like it's already not heartbreaking. I would have hardcore stand IZ*ONE had they not been temporary. I believe that in my heart. Who needs long-lasting groups? 2.5 years is plenty. But yes, Kep1er were effectively created through Mnet's show Girls Planet 999. So we really got to see the creation of this group. We got to see them improve over time, which I think creates more of a connection to people with this group because, you know, you might have committed voter fraud for them. So they got to make their debut in early 2022, and their name refers to astronomy and planets, very fitting for the show that they came out of, Girls Planet 999. Now, the 1 in their name represents one members, with the 1 referring to 9 members becoming 1. EXO who? We also had some established established people join this group, so most notably CLC's Yujin. And we also had Hyuning Bahia, who is TXT Hyuning Kai's sister, which I know people are going to defend her and say her brother had nothing to do with anything. But I disagree. I really disagree. There's absolutely no doubt that her connection to her very famous brother brought people to want to support her. I mean, realistically, if your idol had a sibling, wouldn't you want to go support them? It's just logic, and I don't really mean anything deeper than that. I remember Dada's brother Chondung joined M Black. Guess who fucking loved M Black? Me, in case you were confused. When Crystal, Jessica from Girls' Generation's sister, joined FX, guess who was supporting FX? It's just a natural progression of things. Of course, her having a very famous brother and honestly a pretty public family would lead people to want to support her more than they would have. Like, it's just the facts of life. I've never seen so many TXT related usernames under girl group posts. I'll admit, that was a little too spicy. But it's okay. I've already prepared myself for my own cancellation. Which is why this video is sponsored by NordVPN. During my downtime after my inevitable apology video towards Bahia Stens, who also happened to be Moas, I'm gonna need some entertainment, and sometimes that entertainment is just not available in my country. With NordVPN, I have access to all my favorite content from everywhere. It's literally so simple. You open the map, click on a location, and the connection just takes seconds. Literally faster than the time it takes you to defend nepotism. But this doesn't only apply to movies, it also applies to games. You can find discounts in other regions and just change your virtual location so you can buy it. Imagine if Bahia Stens could have used a VPN to vote for her instead of buying thousands of phones. NordVPN does not support voting fraud. So to take advantage of all these wonderful things, make sure you go to nordvpn.com/moluccensis to get a 2-year plan plus 4 additional months with a huge discount. With Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee, it is literally risk-free, so it'll be in the pinned comment as well as in the description of this video. But back to Kepler. So paired with the fact that some famous members were joining this group and the overall success of this show, naturally people were so excited to be able to support these girls whose journeys they literally followed through a reality TV show. Interestingly, right after their debut for Wadada, Kepler went straight into another Mnet reality program, that being Queendom 2. So they literally had like one title track under their belt and like they sang the shit out of that song. From there, they released their first comeback with Up, and now most recently their second comeback with We Fresh. Now the biggest critique that I hear about this group is that they don't really have their own style yet. They don't have their own sound, and it tends to be a little bit generic, which I can kind of agree with. Whether that was typical teen crush, pretty easy to digest, Up went under the radar for me personally. I don't remember hearing it that much. And then We Fresh literally just came out, so I don't think there's much to say about it. Despite this, I do think Kepler are also one of the big contenders for winning this category because of that fan support. For some reason, Mixx is on this list. I'm kidding, we know why. Hailing from JYP Entertainment, we actually came to know this group way before they even debuted. Essentially, JYP released their album under the title Blind Package. So you could buy into this group without even knowing who was in it, without even knowing any of their songs. Thusly, if you hated the song, well, too late. You already bought the album. I can't imagine doing that. I know some of you guys were like, I don't regret this decision ever. I would have. I would have. Though this practice was a little bit questionable, it does show the blind support that people are willing to throw at the big 3 groups. And I really don't think anyone from JYP, SM Entertainment, or YG Entertainment are exempt from this, even to an extent, Big Hit Entertainment now, HYBE. So I'm not specifically targeting Mixx, I'm just bringing up, again, the facts of life. Before they even debuted, they had so much support, so much so that that I genuinely feel like JYP was like in a room thinking, I wonder what we can get away with. Let's just try anything. Put some beats together that don't make sense, and we'll see. We'll see how much people defend us. And defend they did with the release of Oh. This definitely left people incredibly conflicted because on one hand, you had already support for this group, right? You could come to love the members individually, and then you're faced with a song that is just not your thing. So I do remember a lot of people condemning JYP for giving these talented girls such trash music. And it's not trash for everyone. I fully acknowledge that there's some people who love it, but I've definitely seen more people who hate the songs more than anything. This debut was followed up with Dice, which was released not too long ago. And though we did see some improvements, I found it a lot more cohesive than OO, despite the fact that they both share a similar roller coaster-esque sound that have drastic changes throughout. It still left people pretty polarized. Like, yes, this was an improvement, but you know, I don't know if people were really on board with this and mixing thing that they've created for themselves. Despite their songs not really being everyone's cup of tea, I do see the members incredibly loved online. You know, rather than seeing them go viral for their own songs, I see them a lot more doing covers or doing random other things that aren't related to the title tracks. So are they contenders in my book? I'm not too sure, to be honest. But of course, being as big as they are, they're on the list. We now have LESSERAFIM, who is on this list as well. Part of the new big four companies, we could say, since HYBE literally just like inhaled all these other little companies. Not little, but you get what I mean. But it was really interesting to see Big Hit try their hand at another girl group after so many years in the hopes that this wouldn't totally blow up in their face again. Spoiler alert, it did. Having debuted with the song Fearless, we also have 2 ex-IZ*ONE members in this group, which I definitely think helped with the hype towards this group, though I don't want to underestimate the power, the impact that HYBE currently has. I do think people would have been interested in LESSERAFIM had there not been 2 ex-IZ*ONE members, but I don't think that hurt their case, you know what I mean? Especially since, in my opinion, Fearless was very generic. Now, unfortunately, before they even debuted, they were plagued with controversy, as one of their members, Kim Garam, was accused of school bullying, and, you know, not even 2 months after their debut, she was removed from the group. Most recently, however, they've made their first comeback as a 5-member girl group with Anti-Fragile. Now, tell me why they didn't debut with this song. Literally, why? If Fearless was mediocre, then Anti-Fragile is the perfect step up. Now, of course, the controversy is none of their own fault. It's nothing that the members themselves did. But inevitably, it did bring a lot of conversations surrounding the group. A lot of conversations about them losing a member, a lot of heartbreak. So for just looking at their debut and then the consequent controversy surrounding them, I don't think they're the biggest contenders in my book. Though Anti-Fragile, I will acknowledge, is Song of the Year. I just think it's a little too late. It should have been released a little bit sooner, though I also acknowledge that probably wasn't a possibility given the controversy. But it's already award show season. People are already winning awards and so on. So it just feels a little too late to really consider Anti-Fragile as part of what they've done this whole year, if that makes sense. Like, if this was Song of the Year category, Anti-Fragile would go for next year, wouldn't it? But I digress. This next group has seemingly come out of nowhere. And by out of nowhere, I just mean it's a sub-label of HYBE, so Adore. Having debuted only a couple of months ago, but reaching peak virality, we have another big hit girl group, or HYBE, or Adore. It's a sub-label, but it's still, you know. That's right, we have New Jeans. You got me looking for attention. Min Hee-jin has given the group an addictive flair with that SM twist, which is probably why I don't like them. I mean that very lovingly because I want to support this group. I think they're amazing. I think their whole concept is so unique. I just can't get past that SM sound. You know, they definitely have like a minimalistic 90s, early 2000s R&B sound mixed with just like a little bit of busyness. So though I don't love their music, I cannot deny how popular they are. Anyways, this group released 4 songs right off the bat. They fed everyone so well. They're literally the opposite of Blackpink. And not only that, throughout these 4 songs, they released like a multitude of music videos for them. This version, that version, here's another version. You didn't ask for this version, but here it is. I'll be honest, when I first heard of their existence, I didn't expect them to become so popular. I didn't think they were meant to be mainstream. But if the Black label is essentially YG Entertainment, then I don't see why Adore wouldn't essentially be HYBE still, right? They are sub-labels, but they're still connected to the biggest companies. But seriously, I just didn't think they had the it factor. I didn't think they were supposed to be mainstream. Their look was quite minimalistic, and there's nothing wrong with that. But, you know, we have certain expectations when new groups debut. You'll see a lot of similarities. A lot of them tend to do teen crush or girl crush. So once you get outside of that scope, it could be a hit or miss because people tend to gravitate towards what's familiar. But then there's also that small potential that this could be the biggest thing ever. They just didn't have that typical pizzazz that I was expecting from a K-pop group, and that in and of itself is what made them stand out the most, I think. They stood out by not standing out. So for me, even though realistically they should have been big no matter what, they're the most unexpected ones on this list in my opinion. And don't get me wrong, I want to love Hype Boy. I think it's so catchy. I love the vibes. It's just that instrumental that's like a little too busy in my opinion. But anyways, unexpectedly, I think they're definitely ones to watch out for. Unexpectedly for me, I'll acknowledge, they're still part of Big Hit. What was I thinking? We do have Viviz on this list, though I was very conflicted on whether or not I should include them because Viviz is made up of 3 ex-GFriend members. So rather than having famous members join a bunch of rookies to create a group, this is literally just 3 members from an already very established group. So yes, they did join BPM Entertainment and then made their debut in 2022. However, they themselves are not technically rookies. With 2 title tracks under their belt being Bop Bop and Love Aid, Viviz managed to continue their career despite the end of their previous group. And I'm sure that made fans incredibly happy. I mean, they even appeared on Queendom 2 alongside Kepler. For me though, personally, I think their songs have potential, but that potential isn't being properly explored. You know, GFriend was known for their dancing, right? But I feel that hasn't really been transferred into Viviz. And so I think their performances have suffered a little bit consequently. Despite the fact that they are a new group, they themselves are not rookies, which made me a little hesitant to include them. But here we are. Okay, so we went through all of the nominations. Now it is time to rank them. From 6 being trash debut of 2022 to number 1 rookie of the year. So, can you guess? It's Mixx, which is iconic, by the way. I think this is so iconic. Please have a sense of humor or I'll die. I just feel like their big 3 privilege was really taken advantage of by JYP giving them this blind package thing, which yes, did give hype to the group, but it does feel a little gimmicky. And that's not Mixx's fault, but it is still associated with them. That paired with the fact that their music is very polarizing, I think they just fit this perfectly. They officially win the award Trash Debut of 2022. Coming in at number 5, which again, I was very hesitant to put Viviz on this list to begin with, but they're gonna come in at number 5. I'm still conflicted both because they're not technically rookies and because even though Mixx might have had very polarizing songs, you remember Mixx. They'll go down in history. There's no way you can't remember Mixx because of the nature of their debut and so on. However, Viviz really went under the radar for me in terms of their songs. You know, their songs are pretty much just there. So their songs are a little bit more forgettable, but they're number 5. Let's just leave it at that. Number 4 for me is LESSERAFIM. Now, they have drastically gone higher in this list because of Anti-Fragile, and I'm trying to consider Anti-Fragile while also not putting too much emphasis on it. I just don't think it has the power this far into the year to contribute to award shows that have already been decided based on whatever factors and so on. So they're number 3. They're number 4. So they're number 4. As for number 3, we're going to have to give it to Kepler. Along with Mixx, I feel like, again, Kepler are not going viral for their songs necessarily, but because of their members. People love the members. So I see them constantly on my Instagram Reels, TikTok. I'm always seeing Bahia. I'm always seeing Lily from Mixx, which leads me to believe that people love these groups. Just maybe the songs are not the most culturally impactful. And that's fair. That's fine. So rather than having killer music, people just love the individuality that each member brings to the group. For number 2, extra surprisingly, is NewJeans. So even though I don't like their music, I want to support them. I think they're so cool. And actually, NewJeans feels like they fit this category the best because there's no already known members joining the group, though they are part of Big Hit. So they do have the company privilege, but throughout all of these groups that we've mentioned, there's really nobody that we know in here, right? I could be wrong. I could be talking out of my ass. Maybe. I feel like that's the case, right? They're all pretty young, aren't they? But they really exceeded my expectations. I was not excited for their debut, and they exceeded my expectations. So, as for number one, I'm gonna have to give it to IVE. I would vote for IVE as Rookie of the Year. Whereas I think New Jeans are going viral mostly for their songs. People really vibe with their songs. In contrast to Kepler and Mixx, who I think go viral for their members, I think IVE have a pretty good mix of both, going viral for their songs as well as their members. I hear Afterlike on everywhere. I hear it everywhere. I do think all of the groups mentioned have the potential to win in this category at various award shows. But this is just how I would rank them based on personal preference, as well as how well I think the group is being received. So let me know in the comments down below how you would rank these groups, what groups you would add to the equation, if you agree with me, if you don't agree with me. But yeah, a huge thank you to NordVPN for sponsoring this video. You can also join my channel members by clicking the join button next to the subscribe button to support my channel on a monthly basis. It means the world to me. These are the lovely individuals who help support my channel on a monthly basis. Thank you so much. As for me, I'm gonna get going, so I'll see you guys next time.